Everyone, I am Niyati Shah, currently pursuing Masters in Construction Engineering and Management from SAPT University. As a part of our Studio 2, Construction Execution Monitoring and Control, we have chosen the ongoing project of Sports Complex for our analysis. This studio majorly aims to observe, analyze, reflect the construction processes which are happening on the construction site. The major topics which are covered in my portfolio is project brief, material management, value stream mapping, mistake proofing, earned value management, and the conclusions of all these topics. Starting with the project brief, as mentioned earlier, the project which is chosen for analysis is Sports Complex. The major objective of this project is to develop the sports infrastructure facilities which promote the physical fitness and health, develop athletic skills and ability, fosters a sense of community, supports the local teams. This project is located in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. The major key dates, that is, start date is 1st May 2022, the end date is 31st October 2024. The project duration is of 30 months, project cost is 590 crore, plot area is 20 acres. The sports complex consists of 4 major blocks, block A, B, C and D as shown in the figure. Block B and D consist of one basement as shown in the figure. This is the major site layout. Now talking about the topics which have been covered as a part of our studio. As a part of our studio, we have studied project brief, pre-construction activities, site layout critics, planning and scheduling, risk management, material management, quality management, lean construction, contract administration. About material management is of vital importance to ensure that the right material is available at the right time, in the right quantity and the right location to meet the project deadlines. Talking about the site layout, there are 4 major blocks located in our site. The blue one shows the site store, blue indicated mark shows the site store, orange one shows the cement godown, and the red one shows the storage space. Storage space is provided for various electrical material, HVAC material, etc. Now the store layout is shown below the site layout. One of the major observation at the store is that when the laborers comes for the issuance of any kind of materials, at times helpers are busy. So what store executive do? Store executive asks that laborers to find the material. So what happens is that the laborers are not literate enough to read the boards. As there is a lack of visual representation or the boards in the racks of the store, it was difficult for the laborer to find anything, and they waste time in searching for the material. So instead of that, if the visual representation is provided as shown in the figure, in the case of safety shoes and the fire extinguisher, this visual representation will help them find the materials very quickly. Now various material management processes have been studied. Talking about the material requisition and purchase process. Now first of all, for that, material issue slip is raised by the site engineer. If the material is available in the stock, then the store executive will issue the material. If not, then the purchase requisition is to be made by the site engineer in the hard copy book. After the necessary approval from project manager, planning manager and accountant, the purchase requisition is done by the store executive in the ERTP software, and the purchase requisition is mailed to HO. Now the purchase executive at HO will request for quotation. It will then, after receival of quotation, comparative statement will be prepared. PO will be awarded to the vendor with the least cost and the quality service, and then the material is delivered on the site. The material classification is very important for the inventory control. One such material classification methodology, namely ABC analysis, is done. In the ABC analysis, the materials are classified on the basis of their annual usage value. In this classification, the materials are classified into A, B and C categories, A being the most valuable one, C being the least valuable one, and B contains the material which is ranging from A and C. ABC analysis is performed on the 13 such materials as shown, out of which the materials which have been derived out to be A class material are reinforcement, cement, steelwork in built-up tubular section. B class materials are structure, steelwork in single section, coarse aggregates, sand, brick, plywood for shuttering. C class materials are binding wire, admixture, water, shuttling oil and cover blocks. As you can see from the chart, class A comes out to have 77% of the total value of the materials, B is derived out to have 22% of the total value, and C class material derived out to have 1% value out of all the materials. The major importance of doing the ABC analysis is to focus on vital few which have more value, i.e. class A materials which have 77% of the total value, rather than trivial many like class C which have only 1% of value. Talking about the inventory management, so inventory management is important to ensure that there are enough goods on the site to meet demands without creating any kind of excess inventory. So for that purpose, the model which has been studied is classical economic order quantity model, and it has been studied for steel. So basically, economic order quantity is defined as the optimum quantity which is needed to be ordered to minimize the various variable cost associated in holding and ordering the inventory. So basically, EOQ makes the decision regarding how much to order. Annual inventory cost is a summation of purchase cost, carrying cost, and ordering cost. Purchase cost is the cost for the goods which has been purchased. Ordering cost includes the cost for the external test, software charges, labor cost per order. Carrying cost is the holding cost for the goods which is stored or the inventory which is stored. So the major assumptions which has been taken for deriving the economic order quantity are: annual quantity of steel which has been required on site annually is 4488 tons. The carrying cost is considered to be the 5% of purchase cost. The consumption rate is assumed to be constant. The purchase price is assumed to be constant, as well as for deriving the optimum cycle time, 300 working days are considered. Now, if we look at the table where economic order quantity which has been derived from the formula is 104 tons, while and the current practice at site is to order 109 tons per order. Also, the number of orders which are required annually on site has been derived out to be 43 from the economic order quantity, and as per the current practice is 41 orders which has been placed. Now, looking at this results, and while comparing the both, we were able to find that just in time is also currently being followed. The materials are received and the order is placed, and the materials are delivered when and as required. Value stream mapping. Value stream mapping is a method to illustrate, analyze, and improve the steps required to deliver the product or service. The steps includes value added as well as non-value added steps. Value added steps are those which add value to the product or the end product or the services, and the non-value added steps which do not add value to the product or service, but because of which delays occurs. So this VSM tool helps in elimination of waste and increasing in the productivity. So for VSM, value stream mapping, first of all, current state mapping, existing process is analyzed, identification of waste is done, elimination of waste with the help of lean tool is done, then the future state is mapped. The activity observed for the value stream mapping is de-shuttering and shuttering of column which having a dimension 1 meter into 1 meter into 3.6 meter. Now workers which were employed for this activities were 2 carpenters plus 2 helpers. Duration of the activity is 351 minutes. The flow process of this activity is first of all mobilization of tool is done, then the column which is to be de-shuttered is de-shuttered, then the various materials for the shuttering of the another column is brought from the store parallelly. Then the stacking of material around the de-shuttered column after de-shuttering is being done. Then the material is shifted from the column which has been de-shuttered to the column which has to be shuttered now. So the material is shifted to the place where the column is to be shuttered. Then the stacking of material is done. Cleaning and oiling of the formwork is done. Then erection of lower formwork, upper formwork, and then at the last inspection by the site engineer is being done. The major waste identified are shown in the pie chart. Now talking about the transportation waste, majorly the reason behind that is the location of store. The store is centralized located, so the distance is more, so there is a waste related risk. The waiting time, waiting for the obtaining the tools, as well as carpenter waiting time for obtaining the material which needed to be stacked from D shutter column to the column where the shuttering is to be done. Defects like there was dry concrete around the starter of the column for which is to be shuttered. Motion, because of there is a twice two times the stacking is done. It is not been like here from here the column from which the materials have been de-shuttered, it is not directly placed to the beside the column which is to be shuttered. So there is this waste. Because of all this waste, the percentage distribution of value added and non value added activities comes out to be 40% and 60% respectively. Talking about the current state, in the current state 99 minutes were value added and 252 minutes were the non value added one, while it has been reduced for value added it has been reduced to 81 minutes, and for non value added it has been reduced to 119 minutes with the application of lean tool. So the total cycle time, which was 351 minutes, has been reduced to 200 minutes. Now the lean tools which were used were basically daily huddle meetings, 5S, Kaizen, Kanban, failsafe, increased visualization. So if we talk about daily huddle meetings should be conducted daily to identify what are the issues faced by the workers during the process. Also, the fires to be adopted on the store so that the materials or the tools which is to be used daily should be placed in such a way that it could be easily taken. Talking about the increased visualization, workflow methodology targets should be displayed on the site for the increased visualization of the workers. So that is how all the should be reduced, all the things should, all the times, all the waste should be reduced. Now talking about the talk time, so the targeted talk time was like the column should be de-shuttered and shuttered within 206 minutes, while the current state was 351 minutes, and after application of lean tool it has been reduced to 2. Is a lean tool which strives to achieve the zero defects. There are 6 major principles of mistake proofing: elimination, prevent, replace, facilitate, detect, and mitigate. Now the first 4 principle, which is eliminate, prevent, replace, facilitate, tries to prevent the human error from occurring, while the detect and mitigate reduces the effect of human error after it has already been occurred. Two solutions which are already present at our construction site has been analyzed. First one is checklist for the power tool inspection, which is used by the safety engineer. So the major concern in the checklist is there is no proper indication regarding which part to be checked of that power tool was not provided in the checklist. The checklist was totally descriptive, so there is difficulty in the identification of the part, like which part to use, which part to check. In the countermeasure to that, by application of the facilitation principle, the checklist has been revised and it includes a photograph of the specific machine parts which needed to be checked during the inspection. Also, another suggestion is to add one field for the remarks to add the necessary comments during the inspection. Now, another solution which has been analyzed is magnets used for the removal of the material waste. So the major concern in this is that there is a lots of waste of the nails and binding wire which has been found out on the shuttered bottom in the reinforcement cage. So what happened is that there is a difficulty in the removal of that binding wire and the waste, and also it is one of the ergonomic hazard for the laborers as well. Now, in order to mitigate that errors which have already been occurred, the countermeasure is using the magnet. By using the magnet, the laborers would be able, it would be easy for the laborers to remove the metal waste by just using the magnetic field of the magnet. And the major cause of such kind of wastage is because of the breakage of binding wire or toppling down of nail while shuttering, removal of wrongly tied nails. So these are the major causes. So the countermeasure when magnet is used also do have some kind of limitations, like it only can remove the material within its magnetic field. Only the item contains, only the metallic which contains iron items can only be removed. And also, as the magnet used at our site is large enough, there is a need of the space to accommodate it, or else it won't be able to remove all the items from inside the congested reinforcement which is already been present. So major suggestion was to use the magnet of different sizes so that it will be easier to remove the waste. And there is also one major suggestion is to use is to tie magnet at the bottom of the reinforcement bar, and so they can just insert that stick inside that cage and they will be able to remove and pick. They don't need and to insert any kind of hand in that reinforcement cage to remove those materials. Management. Earned value management is a methodology to assess the project performance and the progress. Earned value management monitors three values: planned value, earned value, and the actual cost. Planned value is the authorized budget allocated to the scheduled work. Earned value is a budget associated with a percentage of the planned work which has been completed, and the actual cost is the actual cost of the work that has been measured in earned value. Now, the scope of work considered for the earned value analysis is of B block ground floor to third floor slab. The status of work as on 21/4/23, which is the date on which the earned value analysis has been performed, is that B block ground floor slab was completed, first and second floor slab was in progress, and the third floor slab was in the look ahead schedule. Now, the performance indicators which were derived out are shown in the table on the right hand side, which indicates that schedule variance is derived out to be negative, i.e. the planned cost, which is 4.04 CR, is greater than the earned value cost, which is 3.72 CR, which indicates that the scope of work for which the earned value analysis has been done is falling behind the schedule. Also, the negative CPI indicates that more than planned amount is being spent on the same scope of work. SPI lesser than 1, which is 0.92, indicates that less work has been done as planned, i.e. it indicates majorly how efficiently the project team is using its time, and it is less than 1, which indicates that the less work has been done rather than that is planned. CPI of 0.8 indicates that the more than budgeted amount is being spent. Talking about the conclusions of the various deliverables. First, material management. We were able to understand various processes related to the material management, how vital and important it is to plan and organize the materials. On the basis of material classification, we were able to derive which are the least important and the most important materials on the basis of ABC analysis. Inventory management, we were able to derive how much to order, and by comparing it with the site, we were able to understand that just in time is also followed at the site. The EOQ order quantity is 104 ton, while the current practice is 109 ton. So the quantity is ordered as and when required, so just in time is followed. Talking about the earned value management, we were able to assess the project performance. On the basis of the performance indicators, we were able to derive that the cost variance and the schedule variance is negative, which indicates that the scope of the work which we have taken for analysis is behind the schedule and more than the budgeted amount is spent for that scope of work. From the value stream mapping, we were able to identify the waste and eliminate it or reduce it and increase the productivity. After application of lean tools, we were able to reduce the total cycle time from 351 minutes to 200 minutes. In the mistake proofing principle, it strives towards achieving the zero defects. So two of the solutions, one which facilitates the engineer to prevent the human error from occurring, has been studied, which is checklist for the power tool inspection, and another one is to mitigate the error which has been already been done, is the usage of the magnet. Thank you.